Hey there, welcome to the video. Today we're taking a deep dive into the ups and downs of a company that was once the king of movie rentals, Blockbuster Video. You might remember the days of driving to your local Blockbuster, browsing the aisles for the perfect movie to rent, and maybe even grabbing some popcorn on your way out. Blockbuster was everywhere, and it was the place to go for movie night. But as we'll see, even the mightiest of empires can fall. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of Blockbuster's mistakes, let's talk about why it's important to study failed businesses. Sure, it's always fun to point out what went wrong, but there's a bigger picture here. By looking at what caused Blockbuster's downfall, we can learn from their mistakes and apply those lessons to other businesses. It's not about finding someone to blame, it's about learning and improving. But don't worry, we're not going to be all doom and gloom. In fact, we're going to have some laughs along the way. And speaking of laughs, did you know that Blockbuster actually had the chance to buy Netflix for a mere $50 million back in the early 2000s? Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a decision they probably regret to this day. Anyway, if you're ready to see how a company that seemed invincible could make some major missteps, then stick around. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future videos. Let's get started. We've talked about how Blockbuster got its start, but how did they become the king of movie rentals? Well, it all started with their innovative rental model and the use of VHS tapes. That's right, before DVDs there were VHS tapes, and Blockbuster was the first to really capitalize on them. But it wasn't just the tapes that made Blockbuster so successful. It was also their wide selection and infamous late fees. I mean, who hasn't had to pay a Blockbuster late fee at some point in their life? It was like a rite of passage. And then there were the exclusive movies. Blockbuster was the first to introduce their own line of exclusive movies, which set them apart from their competitors. And let's be real, who didn't want to rent the latest Blockbuster movie from Blockbuster? But enough talk, let's see some of these innovations in action. Asterisk cue humorous clips of people returning movies late or trying to find the latest Blockbuster exclusive movie asterisk. Yeah, those late fees weren't so funny when it happened to you, but hey, we can laugh about it now. And that's the thing about Blockbuster, they were innovative, but they also knew how to have fun. Stay tuned for the next part of our series, where we'll discuss Blockbuster's downfall and what led to their ultimate demise. Okay, I know I said not to say stay tuned, but you know you're curious about what happened next. Welcome back, folks. Now let's talk about some poor business decisions. We're going to take a look at Blockbuster and how they went from a thriving business to closing their doors. First up, Blockbuster's decision to pass on purchasing Netflix. Can you imagine? They could have owned the streaming giant, but instead, they let it slip away. It's like turning down a winning lottery ticket. But that's not all. Blockbuster also failed to adapt to changing technology, such as the rise of streaming services. They were stuck in their old ways, and it cost them dearly. It's like trying to use a typewriter in the age of computers. It just doesn't work. Now let's talk about Blockbuster's strict late fee policy. I mean, come on, who likes late fees? Nobody. And Blockbuster's harsh policy pushed their customers away. It's like punishing a kid for not being able to finish their homework on time. It's just not fair. But don't worry, we won't leave you feeling down. Let's lighten the mood with some humorous clips. Because let's face it, laughter is the best medicine. So, there you have it. Blockbuster's poor business decisions led them to their ultimate downfall. But we can all learn from their mistakes and adapt to the ever-changing world of business. And that's how Blockbuster's rise to fame came to a screeching halt. Despite being a dominant force in the entertainment industry, their inability to adapt to changing times ultimately led to their downfall. But what about the impact of their bankruptcy on the industry as a whole? Well, it was significant. With the rise of streaming services and the decline of physical media, other companies were forced to adapt or face a similar fate. But while Blockbuster may be gone, their legacy lives on through the nostalgia of their former customers. For those of us who grew up browsing the aisles of our local Blockbuster, the memories are still vivid. The excitement of finding the perfect movie for a Friday night, the smell of popcorn, the familiar blue and yellow signage. It's a part of our childhoods that we'll never forget. So what can we learn from Blockbuster's failures? Well, for starters, the importance of staying ahead of the curve. In today's ever-changing business landscape, it's crucial to be adaptable and open to new ideas. And while it's easy to get comfortable with what's worked in the past, it's important to always be looking towards the future. So let's take a page from Blockbuster's book and use their mistakes as lessons. Let's innovate and push the boundaries of what's possible. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll look back on our own successes and feel the same sense of nostalgia that we do for Blockbuster. Well, there you have it, folks. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, from the benefits of meditation to the different techniques you can use to get started. Remember, the key is to find what works for you and stick with it. Don't be discouraged if you don't see results right away. Like any worthwhile practice, it takes time and patience to see the benefits. But I'm not just here to give you a lecture. I want to hear from you. Do you have any tips or tricks that have worked for you when it comes to meditation? Leave them in the comments below and let's start a conversation. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest content. And now, for a little levity to end things on a light note. Did you hear about the meditating horse? He was a stable guru. All right, I'll see myself out. Until next time, folks.